What's that? I'm Cruddy. You can call this the needle drop setup. Today we're gonna kind of do like a reaction to what is the defining hip hop album. Because I'm watching Apple Music release like the top 100 albums of all time. It's something along the lines of that list, and I'm trying to figure out like what's going to be the defining hip hop album. Because there are four notable artists that I've noticed haven't been added to the list yet. J. Cole, Lil Wayne, Kendrick Lamar, and Jay-Z. Those are the four most notable names because they've done Drake, they've done M, Kanye, I think Nas. Matter of fact, I don't even think Nas has hit the list yet, unless I missed it. I know they did Tupac and Biggie, but like, and like even in my like own personal opinion, based off how like I view and enjoy those albums, I kind of feel like the Marshall Mathers LP is also ranked very low at 80. I think that's a very, very understatement based off that album's performance, based off him as an artist on that album. To say it's probably like his best album in certain people's mindsets, I don't think that. But like, it's like, what do they base like their rankings off of? Like, is it based off of performance, impact, so on and so forth? And like, I'm kind of like, I just want to know who's going to have the defining album. Like, to me, like, in my mind right now, I think it's going to go to either Kendrick, because it's Kendrick, he's kind of like critically acclaimed. Obviously they didn't give it to Ye, so it can go to Kendrick. It can go to Jay-Z because, sometimes people have a little bias when it comes to Jay. And, you can kind of feel like he's either overrated or whatever. But there does tend to be a little bias when it comes to Jay-Z. But then there's one, my personal pick, and it's probably like based off what that album did. I'm going to go, the obvious choice is going to be, for me, Lil Wayne, Carter 3. And like, for me to explain like why I think that's going to be the defining hip hop album on that list, I think either is going to crack top 20 or top 10. No. Is it? Yeah, I think it's top 20 or top 10 at that point. I think that it's going to be a top album. Like, I think based off that album, not just its performance, but the cultural impact. And like, I had a dialogue with somebody on Twitter about it earlier. I'm like, when I really sit back and think about it, like, and then you guys can kind of correct me if I'm wrong, or you can name another album. There's never been another album that had the cultural impact like Carter 3 in my lifetime. Like, once you think about like the Carter 3, it was the album that made Lil Wayne a star. It was the album that created this entire generation of rappers. It was the album that made YMCMB a dynasty at the time. And it was the album that ultimately gave you Young Money, the Big Three, Wayne, Drake, and Nicki. Like, that, the things that album did for hip hop, for Lil Wayne, for everyone connected to him, just like, I don't think it's ever been replicated. Because like, you can, everybody has a good album. Like, Kendrick Lamar has good fucking albums. He has several good albums. But he didn't have like that impact that Wayne did. Like, Kendrick Lamar drops the album. Now this entire generation wants to be like Kendrick. Now everybody out here is repping TDE and all that. Like, nah, I think Wayne fumbled kind of like that streak, but that's like a different topic, a story for another time. But I don't see it. And even when you get to Jay-Z's Blueprint, maybe because I didn't get to see the cultural impact that whichever Jay-Z album they're gonna pick, I didn't get to see and witness the impact. So maybe that might be me being a little bit, I guess, misguided. Because like, even to put him above, obviously they're gonna put him above Tupac and Biggie at this point. It's like, I know, I guess it would have to be like, I'd have to watch it and watch the explanation of why that album was ranked high if that's based off the criteria. Again, I don't know the exact criteria. And then obviously Cole. Cole, he probably ranks high at just probably like slightly below or a little above Kendrick. Probably they probably going like 2014 Forest Hill Drive, so they probably go like under. But also again with him, he didn't have the same impact with that album. So I think the two defining albums for hip hop are going to come down to Wayne and Jay. If I'm picking, it's going to be Carter 3. It's going to edge out everything because I don't think there's nothing more hip hop than the Carter. But be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And down in the comments, tell me like what's going to be based off of who's left to pick. Who's going to be like the defining artist for hip hop? Because I don't think hip hop is going to get the #1 album. I think they're going to be safe and give that to like Michael Jackson. Like, because if it's not Michael Jackson, anybody else, because that's a safe pick. Anybody else who gets that #1 spot, there's going to be hell for whoever that person is. Like, imagine if they get that shit to Taylor Swift. Like, if Michael even falls to, like, let's say 3, and then whoever the fuck is the next 2, they just going to get... Like, people are already turning against Taylor already today because, like, the Marvel announcement and shit like that. Like, they going to kill her. They going to lynch her in the comments. Not really going to lynch her, but they going to lynch her in the comments. So, peace.